In the Husky Huddle, we gather round. Coach Human and Steve Cully were never found. They talk about the team with such zeal, strategies and plays. They analyze it well. The stadium's full of cheers and shouts. Uconn's got spirit, we'll never doubt. Coaches share their thoughts. It's quite the treat. In this lively huddle, we always meet. Huskies, we stand tall. With Coach Schumann and Steve Cully we call. Game plans and
all right.
Maybe that lifts Joe's spirits up a little bit, you know?
We got to lift all our spirits up.
You can't see it, but it makes me smile.
Yes.
Husky Huddle, here we are. And Coach Schumann, who is taking success because it's a step-by-step process. I like that, a step-by-step process. And we have the legendary icon, voice of the Huskies himself, the best of the best, Joe D'Ambrosia. Joe, great to hear from you as well.
Good morning, boys. On the comeback.
Chris D's already commenting. 8 wins, baby. I love it, Chris D. Yeah, we miss Chris D. Chris D wasn't on either last week or 2 weeks ago, so we missed his comments. Can Mel Brown play? Chris D, they are redshirting Mel Brown. Oh, can he play and still redshirt? He actually probably could. But I'm not sure if it's the first 4 games of the season.
That's what
have. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it's the first 4 games, so he can't play and still redshirt. The Duke's Mayo Bowl projection. Yeah, I mean, we don't know what we're going to get. It's going to come down to what conferences do not fill their spots. So we could end up literally anywhere. Who knows? But I was at the game. It was not the atmosphere that I was expecting. I thought we were going to get a massive crowd, and it looked that way in the parking lot. Did not look that way in the stadium. So Joe is correct with the projection of the Duke game allegedly being 38,000 people. It was probably not close to that after seeing what I saw last week. But the Air Force game was interesting. It was kind of a slow start. I thought Joe Fignano was really pressing early on. Joe, what did you think of Joe's performance to start? I mean, it seemed like he was struggling.
Yeah, he was. I thought Air Force had a good scheme.
Yeah,
them early on, and I think human nature being what it is, I think with all the publicity
right
out of the Duke game,
that's what I thought.
And
too.
I don't know Joe Fignano, but from the people I talk to, he's a great young man.
Yes.
So not from an ego standpoint would this be the case, but just the idea that, okay, I'm making national news. I gotta keep performing like this every week. Instead of just being the laid back gunslinger, maybe he put a little added pressure on himself. Maybe he tried to force balls into tight windows. That wasn't the interception. Was just a bad throw.
Oh, I know.
Was just a bad throw. But you know the good thing is they reloaded the running game. Cam was you know, what was it, 160 yards, whatever it was.
165, yep.
No, that allowed the passing game to be more of a secondary weapon, and they flourished in that. And you know what? And we had talked about this Friday, boys, but give Matt Brock credit. We talked about the fact that you needed a different game plan against Air Force than you did against Duke. And they went with 4 down linemen, and that worked really well. So, you know, I mean, that told me a lot, not that I didn't expect it, about Coach Brock. And I think and again, I didn't watch the whole game because I nodded off in the third quarter, and you boys know why. But I thought it was a solid win. I mean, I'm not sure they had to honor 37 seniors before the game, which I heard.
Because they're all seniors, I know.
Yeah, but that and you know what? That's not even a big deal. I shouldn't even say that because a senior is a senior is a senior. So I say good win, and now you're up to 8, and now don't step off the gas in Florida for a Saturday night, and you get 9 wins, and maybe you get an upper echelon, a mid-tier bowl game, not an upper echelon. They're not going to the Gator Bowl or anything like that, but maybe you get a Duke's Mayo Bowl or something a little bit later in the bowl season. I've always thought that the bowl games after Christmas had more relevancy than the bowl games before Christmas. You may remember our first bowl game was the Motor City Bowl, and it was 2 days. It was 2 days after Christmas, and that was great. Christmas in Detroit was not phenomenal.
No,
but I'm not going to lie. But it was, But I think if you get a bowl game after Christmas, that's saying something about what you've done.
Yeah, big time it does. Dave, what do you think after watching the performance? I agree with Joe. I thought that Joe Pignano was kind of pressing early on, and he wasn't that gunslinger, and he was really trying too hard. And then he kind of loosened up as the game went on. But I agree with defensively, they gave them a variety of looks. I was nervous. I believe it was our second punt. We pinned them down on like the 5-yard line. I'm like, great, we're going to get great field position because we stopped them the first drive 3 and out. And that's when they go the 95 yards and score. But then after that, he was very good with some of the adjustments he made, especially in the second half. But what were your thoughts on Joe and then obviously defensively?
Well, I mean, Joe wasn't a huge factor as part of this game as Cam Edwards was, obviously. So that wasn't a huge part of the game. I think that it was he got the interception out of the way, so he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
So the announcers don't have to mention it every 2 seconds.
Yeah. There is a weird pressure to that all the time, because it is achieving the almost unachievable, which is perfection. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that I don't think he was a huge factor. I really think that we were much more physical than them at the point of attack. I think we were able to run the ball, and I think that was a monumental difference for us. We were bigger, we were a little more physical than they were. And I think that translated to on the defensive side. We're more athletic, and we were able to play, be more physical, more athletic, and we were able to make plays defensively and really kind of slow down their offense. It's always hard to completely shut down the triple option, but we slowed it down enough that our offense, which has just been dominant, found ways to score, and a lot of ways to score.
Yeah, I mean, they had 290 yards rushing on 58 attempts. I didn't even know. I am friends with the Air Force athletic director. He was my AD at Holy Cross, so I got a chance to talk with him upstairs. And he said that this isn't even their starting quarterback. He said they had lost their starting quarterback. And the guy that was playing, who has been playing, is obviously more of a runner, and he's a big, thick kid, and he did a nice job. They ran that veer very well. They ran the super toss very well. I was concerned until really the second half because, we were able to get that field goal at the end of the half to put us up 9-7. and then we came out and scored the first drive in the third quarter. And that's what we talked about, was getting a lead on them, because, trying to make them one-dimensional or trying to make them eat the clock is what was going to hurt them most. And they're not a team that has the ability to come back. And, their athletic director, Nate Pine, was also talking to me about that they can't go to the transfer portal. And he's hoping that's something that they can find a way to change or limit or find some parameters to be able to go into it, because it's going to be tough as the years go on. Even though Navy's having a great year, he said it's been a struggle, especially being in the Mountain West. But Joe, I agree. Cam Edwards was unbelievable. He looked fully healthy. He had the 24 carries, 165 yards, and he got over 1,000 yards for the year, which is good. I can't remember the last time we had a 1,000-yard rusher. I have to check that.
Kevin Mensah, 2019.
Kevin Mensah, 2019. And Victor Rosa had some nice catches in the screen game, and Skylar Bell got his catches. We only threw for 155 yards, but we only attempted 23 passes, which I was happy with. And, we won by 10. We did what we needed to do. And we finished, the last 2 years, 12-1 at home. So I think that's exceptional. And I do agree with you that we have an opportunity now to beat FAU, even though FAU has gotten better. But with a win at FAU, we could end up in a bowl game after Christmas. We could be more desirable. But I was happy to see Cam healthy, Cam at full speed, running hard. And obviously the run game made the difference. The run game saved us. And it's good to see Cam back. Do you think Cam looked 100% healthy?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. Before I go into my next little riff, when did you talk to your buddy, the athletic director? Halftime?
I went up at halftime, yeah.
Okay, because the starting quarterback was the starting quarterback, and he got hurt in the game, and that's a big factor.
Okay.
That's a big factor. The other kid who they brought in is nowhere near as good as him. So the starting quarterback getting hurt in the second quarter was a real big minus for them.
So that's where I got confused. I thought the starter was the backup. So the guy that got hurt. All right, that makes sense. I did not see that.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm sure you were eating and bullshitting and bullshitting with Mulcahy.
Yes.
I think Cam got his just desserts by getting to 1,000 yards. I think what he's been able to do after coming here as a defensive back and getting moved to running back has been exceptional. But that happens in college football. He's not the first person to do that. I also think what him getting to 1,000 yards is a testament to just how good this offensive line has been.
Yeah.
Fagnano never gets sacked, and they had 1,000-yard rusher. That says a lot about the offensive line. I think that they've been unsung heroes in this, and you knew this, Cully, because you always bitched about coverage.
Sure.
The offensive line only gets talked about when things go bad. If the quarterback's on his ass all day, or the running game gets negative 20 yards, that's the only time we talk about the offensive line, and that's not fair. And look, Uconn has had a history through the years of turning out some great college offensive linemen, and some guys who have gone on to play in the pros, right? So I think Cam's 1,000 yards is a testament to him, and also a testament to an offensive line that I think's been underrated.
No, I agree.
Change it. Not underrated, but underappreciated.
Kyle Jurgens, I really like. Carson Cassidy, I really like. Wes Ho, Morawski, Brady Wayburn. They
What
move
about your
people
boy
around.
from Notre Dame?
Ty Chan, I do like him.
Big
I do
body.
like him. I do like him. I hope they're able to keep him coming back. He does a great job. Obviously, I have no problem with Tai Chan, but the whole group as a whole, I think they play well together. They communicate. They get to who they need to. But even more so than the tight ends, I love or the O-line. I love our tight ends. I've said that all year. I love our tight ends. I love Hunnig, Hansen. They do the dirty work at the point of attack. They create movement. They work well with the tackles. I wish they were more involved in the passing game. But, Juice Vereen was out this game. And hopefully we get him back for FAU. Allegedly, we are supposed to. But I really believe the tight ends have made the run game go just as much as the offensive line. When you can put Lewis Hansen in the backfield and he can lead block on certain plays. When he can come and wham the backside end, I think that made a lot of the plays go and allowed Cam to cut back some of his runs. What about you, Dave? What do you think as far as the offensive line and the tight ends?
In this game in particular?
I would say overall.
I think overall that's the strength of the team. Fagano has been pretty much upright.
Yep.
We have 1,000-yard rusher. They're big interior wise, like wide bodies interior wise. If you don't have a good offensive line, nothing works. So obviously they're doing a great job, and I think that makes a big difference. That's why you have an offense that's able to go, and it allows the skilled players time to be able to do what they need to do. It is a loaded offense.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it is a I don't even know what you call them now. What are the big conferences called now? Power
P4.
P4. I can't keep up with it, Joe. I can't keep up with it.
I know.
It was Power 5. I'm like, and what is group of 5?
I think it's group of 6 now. Might be group of 6.
It's going to be group of 6, I believe, when the Pac-12 comes back. I don't think they're giving them power status.
Okay. So
from what I read,
I think it's a to me it's a Power 4 offense that it has the capabilities of a Power 4 offense. That's comparable with a lot of the teams in the Power 4 at the mid level. I would say defensively, that would be where we would run into an issue in the Power 4
Correct.
conference.
Yes.
But we have a couple of players, obviously those 2 linebackers and Cam Chadwick, that are, I would say, Power 4 level guys as far as athletically, and they were. I think a couple of them were Power 4. So, so I think it's just overall size-wise on the D-line front, size-wise compared to speed, that might be a little bit of a differentiator where we're not maybe as a whole. But we're pretty close. I mean, it's interesting because South Florida lost.
Yep.
Right. Got knocked out. Who beat them this weekend? Navy.
North
Navy.
Texas. Right?
Navy.
Oh, Navy beat them.
Navy.
Okay.
And Navy got their quarterback back, and that made a huge difference because when against Notre Dame, I watched the Notre Dame game. They had the backup in. It was so they got that guy back. It was a big difference. I think what's interesting is so South Florida's out. I don't know if Memphis goes back in, but Memphis lost to somebody that we blew out, and so UAB, I think it was. And so I think in that, I think we're near the top, if not possibly the top of the group of 5 schools.
We
So
very well could be. We very well
yeah.
could be.
So now, which is really interesting. Now, my original possible prediction of 12-0, because of our schedule and if a couple things went our way, we're literally that first overtime. If we had actually beaten Syracuse, which now you see with we should have been able to beat Syracuse. If we had beaten Syracuse, those other 2 overtime wouldn't have happened, in my opinion, and we would have ran the table and we would already be ranked in the top 20, 25. We have a chance to end the season. I think someone commented here about that. I agree with that. I think we have a chance if we win and then we beat a Power 4 school in the bowl game to actually be in the top 25. Joe can answer this question way better than me. Have we ever been in the top 25?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we have.
2010.
2010
when we went to the Fiesta Bowl.
Got it.
Somebody gave him a first place. I'm not a first place. Gave him a vote in a poll this week. So it's the first time that's happened in a long, and I think since, I don't remember if I read this the right way, 2013. So they're in the category of also receiving votes. I think I agree with everything you say, Stu. My thought is that playing a Power 4 team in the bowl game is a possibility, but we lucked out with North Carolina last year.
Right.
I think the odds of getting a Power 4 team in the bowl game are kind of, I'd say not 50-50, like 25-75. But that doesn't look.
Could we get Navy? Could we get Navy in a bowl game if we don't get a Power? Like, that would be a good one, I think. What is Navy?
Navy wins the AAC, they would go to the playoffs.
Oh, right.
No, not necessarily.
They would?
They would take it depends which team is ranked higher.
Okay.
Oh, ranked higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw some
we could possibly face that if.
Oh yeah. You could
that would be a great bowl game.
You could play South Florida.
Oh, South Florida would be a great bowl game. Yeah.
Would have a good year. So, but I think the possibility of playing a Power 4 team, I'd have to look at all the bowl games and maybe I'll get a chance to do that this week and look at the different bowl projections, even though I hate them. I look at them because it's interesting. So who knows? I mean, we're 2 weeks away from having things be settled because we end the season kind of early. Although it is the 22nd, it's not that early.
Well, we were one of the only teams that did not get 2 byes. Most of the teams got 2 bye weeks.
Right,
we did not.
Exactly.
I got to comment on Joe D's comment. Actually, in my opinion, now that call me old school, and obviously I always, as a coach, have run a lot of the modern stuff. So I run a lot of spread and a lot of, but as far as football, the military academies basically are football. They are football.
What are you talking about, Chris?
They made football. Them, Notre Dame, Alabama in the 60s and Oklahoma. Those guys made football into what it is today.
Nebraska back in the day, Texas.
Yep.
That's just a bad take, Christy.
My father loved it too. He loved watching Air Force. He loved watching that offense, and I was like, God, Jesus, it's such a frustrating offense to watch.
That offense requires. It requires tremendous discipline.
Yes, I know.
It requires tremendous discipline. Only reason I know is because my very first coaching job as an assistant was at my old high school, and they ran Navy triple option, and we were a phenomenal team. When I went to high school, we were terrible, but they were a phenomenal team, and the guys coaching it, and he taught a group of kids that in general needed discipline, and they ran that thing to precision. I mean, they would beat teams. I was coaching the wide receivers. We'd get 20 balls thrown to us a year. We'd have like 15 touchdowns from bombs, But so I coached them to run straight, fast, and catch. And then a lot of stalk blocking. But it was the discipline was amazing. I mean, the discipline of practice and repping it over and over and over again, especially for the quarterbacks and the backs, not just the linemen, but the quarterbacks and the backs had to be disciplined because you had to hit the same spot and the time.
There's no audibles.
What's that?
There's no audibles. You have to be able to adjust to whatever look you get. Yeah.
There's no doubt. So I think that it's to me it is football. Listen, I enjoy watching the contrast of the especially when there's a like Navy's very good this year. When there's a military academy that's on a roll, usually one of them every year is on a roll. And when they're playing the big schools, I love watching those games because I love watching when they play against phenomenal, obviously guys who are really against really gifted athletes. How they really have to hone in and be disciplined, not just be an athlete, but hone in and have to be disciplined to be able to make plays. And the teams that do beat the military academy is usually pretty good, and the teams that don't get beat by them. So.
Yep.
No, and it's important to get a lead early. I think that makes a difference. But Joe is right when talking about the seniors, especially defensively. We are a very defensive-laden defense. We took a lot of graduate transfers. We do not have a lot coming back. We have Chadwick coming back. I believe we have Vincent Carroll Jackson coming back.
Well, you hope they come back.
Yeah, exactly. We hope they come back. But that was the discussion at the game. Jim Mora, if he is offered a job and he were to leave after the Florida Atlantic game sometime in the next 2 weeks, I think that would make us like North Carolina last year, and it would be a fire sale, and we would be in real trouble. And that would be an unmitigated disaster. Joe, do you think that Moore will have an opportunity to leave quickly? Because there are quite a few jobs open now. And I know that teams are trying to get them filled before the portal opens January 2nd.
Well, it's a tough question to answer, Steve, because I don't think anybody knows the way that what's going on in Jim Moore's mind. I agree. If he were to leave before a bowl game, I think that would be, for the bowl game, it would be disastrous.
Yeah.
I hope I'm proven wrong, but I would just think past evidence indicates that when a coach, especially now in this new era, when a coach leaves before a bowl game, as the great Padres shortstop Gary Templeton once said, the ship be sinking. So
no, he's right.
San Diego Padres average about 35 to 50 stolen bases a year. One home run a year. Somehow he accidentally hit a home run once a year. Never hit a home run.
Perennial malcontent. But I mean, and look, Moore is 64 years old, which is still relatively young. But is the school think he's going to invest 5 more years into being a head coach and doing everything? Because the head coaching job has changed a lot from when Tom Jackson and Skip Holtz and even Randy Edsel were running. Paul Pasqualoni were running the show. You look at how big the staff is at UConn. You go to the directory. There's like 39 names on the directory. So who knows? But again, when you talked about a couple of the players on defense, Stevie, who knows? I mean, I think the season means that more teams are going to look at UConn players to grab out of the portal. There's been 2 or 3 a year. And it depends how many of these kids have 1 year of eligibility left. Because in some cases, I think that makes them more attractive to other schools.
Correct.
So in the Wild West era of college football that we're in, I think anything is possible.
Correct. And I like the good linebacker, Omar Diamande. He's got 2 years left, I believe. Cam Chadwick, the good defensive back who had the 3 picks last week, he's got 2 years left. Dave, what do you think? I mean, do you think that Mora will have an opportunity to possibly leave in the next few weeks after the FAU game? And do you think that he would?
Yes.
Because he loves going out west.
I think if he's going to get a great offer and he's gone. That's my opinion.
What do you think a great offer is?
Bottom line is I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I look at it like this. What'd you say it was, Joe? 64?
Yes.
Yeah. He's got one last
64. Payday. He's done very well. I'm sure he's done very well financially, obviously. But
he's got a place in Park City, Utah. I don't think you're making our money and have that.
Right. I think he's made really good money, obviously coached in the NFL, but I think this next job would be, whether he is a massive success or fails, will be the cash out job.
Yep.
And that job will be, if he stays for 5 years, because who knows if you're going to make it that long, but let's say if he has great success, he might only last 5 years at a P4. Okay?
Yeah.
Because he could have 3 good years and then all of a sudden it could crash, right? So if he lasted 5 good years, and that's how, if I were in his situation, this is how I would look at it. This would be, let's say it ended at 70. I'd be 70. He's in good health. He's a healthy guy. He works out, for the most part, as long as he's able to stay relatively healthy. That money for his family and for himself for the next 15 years.
It's his last payday.
It's, he'll go be a broadcaster, life on Easy Street, or go coach, go in and be somebody's analyst for the next 10 years and live life on Easy Street, whatever he decides to do. I'm saying, maybe he decides he wants to keep coaching, but I think that's the way I would look at it at that point in my career if I all of a sudden had the tremendous success that I had at UConn. Now, if UConn was able to offer, I would look at it this way too. If UConn had the financial capabilities to offer me a phenomenal situation, then I would entertain staying. If that was the case. I don't know UConn's situation financially, but
he's got an extension through 2028. They extended him last year through 2028. That doesn't.
What is he being paid through 2028?
I think it's $2 million, but it's not.
That's my point. If it's he's going to get 8 to 10 million a year.
Well, maybe.
He's going to get $8 million. What is?
I think $8 million. Yes.
What does Kirby Smart get? 15? I don't know. 12? What does he get?
Kirby Smart?
Yeah.
Oh, he's 10. He's 10 plus. Yeah.
What is the guy in Indiana get? What was his 11? I think. Right.
Signetti got a big.
It was 11.
Yeah.
Moore is going to get 8. Definitely.
12. Yeah. I think he'd get 8 too.
Moore is definitely going to get 8. What people? Joe knows. People view UConn.
Oh wow, he gets 1.7 million. That's his salary.
Okay. No, it's not. You read the wrong thing. It's 2.5 million,
which is great. Which
along with performance-based incentives. So
okay. Oh yeah. You're right.
Listen, UConn could keep him. UConn could decide they're going to keep him and do whatever they have to do that.
Yeah, it was 1.7.
I mean, they did it with Hurley. They obviously do it with Gino, though Gino probably could get. I'm sure, and not that he's ever going to do this, but I'm saying Gino could probably command anything he wanted from any place. He just obviously has been at UConn and loves it. But so they're able to do it there in basketball. I don't know. I really don't know football's exact situation from that standpoint. Do they want to? Are they willing to? If they were, they probably could keep him because but the only way you would keep him, even with paying him, let's say we paid him equal to what somebody else could get him. Mora's first question is not going to be after that fact. Let's say someone offered him a ton of money, he got $8 million. Okay, UConn said, "I will give you $8 million too." His first question is not going to be, okay, thank you. He's going to say, how much do we have?
The resources, to
get players, number one. And the second question is, will we be in a conference so I can go after those? I think he would enjoy that challenge if that was the chance. I do think that.
And the third question would be, do you have anything as stupid as Husky talk that I have to put up?
But yeah, Joe.
If you go down south, I mean, part of what made Paul Feinbaum so popular is the great. I used to listen to it back in the day on. I used to get I think maybe it was internet radio, and just from all the years running camps all over the country, someone put me on to Auburn and the conversation Auburn Alabama talk with Paul Feinbaum way before he was on ESPN, and I would listen to it just to laugh because the people would call up back when Cam Newton was that's really how he got to ESPN, from the Cam Newton becoming champions that year.
Oh yeah,
Alabama lost. The fans would lose their mind over Cam Newton. You couldn't believe what would be said on the radio about Auburn, and Auburn people hate Alabama, and Alabama people hate Auburn, and Alabama's obviously been for the most part the king of that state, but Auburn's obviously had Bo Jackson, they've had guys, and but that's I used to listen to it back in the day. So Husky talk compared to that, I mean, I would just put it on just to hear people say the craziest things ever. One guy poisoned the tree at Tumor.
Yes, and he got charged with it.
Yeah, he got arrested.
Yes, the oldest tree ever, and it was at Auburn.
That guy used to call. I used to listen to it. It was craziness. It was absolute craziness. I used to listen to it all the time, and I would just be laughing. It was unbelievable what they would call up about. Unbelievable.
But Joe's right. So he gets 2.5, and he would make $3 million this year in his bonuses. So he will get $3 million this year. But could we get to 8? No, maybe 5, I think. But would they make him the highest paid coach, one of the highest paid coaches? I don't know.
No, he's never going to get.
We don't draw enough
early in Gino.
Yeah, I don't think we bring in enough money to warrant it.
With you, nor should he.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, Dave, when we were moving up to FBS, if we played this schedule, I mean, we beat Buffalo, we beat FIU. I think we could have beaten BC this year. UAB. I mean, it's just an easy schedule.
Yep.
That's the thing. I mean, it's great that they're winning, and I know they need to win, and it looks good for the conferences, but the conferences look for the revenue, and the revenue is not being generated from butts in the seats. If we were selling out every game, then it would be a conversation. Even Delaware had a great attendance at that game. Delaware fans go to their home games. We do not get great attendances for our home games. They listed the attendance yesterday at 30,000 people. They'd be lucky if there were 20,000 people. So that's what I think hurts us the most, Joe. I mean, don't you think for us to be attractive to any P4 conference, it's got to be revenue driven from football, and we're not generating close to the revenue needed?
Yeah, I don't know if it's got to be revenue driven, but I got to these other conferences. I think that's what the bottom line is. That the other conference CS bringing value to what they have. I mean, the SEC and the Big Ten are out, so that leaves the ACC and the Big 12. And Big 12 is kind of a sprawling conference that's got schools on the West Coast now and stuff. I think the ACC would be the ideal location, but again, I don't think the ACC has any feeling that they need four schools in the Northeast corridor. Especially BC and Syracuse struggle.
Yeah, BC and even, I mean, I know Pitt was ranked for a little while, but Pitt has struggled since they've gone to the ACC. I mean, everyone they've added. I mean, Miami has finally started to turn things around.
Well, Miami, I wouldn't include Miami in that. I wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, in that I wouldn't include Louisville or Cincinnati in that. I think they've all done well. But you get the poster child for leaving the Big East or being forced out of the Big East, not leaving
Temple
East and becoming a non-entity is the State University of New Jersey.
Oh, Rutgers. That's right. They were forced out. Yeah.
Right.
Rutgers, Temple. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Right. Since us all South Florida to the curb, be just about.
And they did it to make room for us.
What's that?
I was looking at FAU, and they have kind of been up and down. They played Tulsa. They beat Tulsa, which was huge. They lost to Tulane. Tulane has been pretty good. UAB, Rice. Yeah. I mean, they've gotten a little bit better, but it's still a game that we should win. They lost to FIU, who we dismantled, but that was early on. They lost to Memphis. But, I mean, it's a game we should be able to go down there and take care of business. And I think that changes everything, hopefully, to get us into a better situation, to get us into a better bowl game. And I hope Joe plays better. I hope Joe gets some more stats and can get closer to the 3,000-yard mark and at least get 28 touchdown passes on the year. I know he had one rushing this week, but he is a tremendous leader. Skylar Bell is, I think he's close to breaking the single season reception record. He already broke the touchdown record.
Who held that?
I don't know. I don't know who held it. I just know that he broke the touchdown record 2 weeks ago. So he's close to breaking the reception record because he had another 8 catches this week. And if he stays on that and has another big week, he could break the single season reception record.
Well, and here's something. Here's 2 things about Bell. One is he's already agreed to go to the East-West Shrine game. So
good.
He's not going to the Senior Bowl, which I think for his NFL hopes would be a better bowl to get invited to.
Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine is a late round bowl game.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
And he's been named a semifinalist today for the Biletnikoff. And here are the schools of the other nominees. Okay, Louisville, Alabama, Tennessee, Indiana, A&M, USC, TCU, Florida State, Indiana, San Jose State, and Ohio State. So him and the kid, Danny Scudero from San Jose State, they're the only non-group P4 group
Right.
that have been nominated, which I think tells you a little bit about the uphill battle you face for awards. In this era that we're in now, with P4 and P5 not equaling a P9.
And Joe, seeing Skylar Bell in person on the sideline, I could not believe how small he was. I mean, he's listed, I believe, at 6 feet tall. He doesn't look anywhere close to that. When I saw him on the sidelines, I mean, he looks like 5'10", 5'9", even. He looks small. He's listed at 6 feet. He's not 6 feet tall. But he does a great job getting open. He does a great job getting separation. I had just wish, Romello Murphy, he didn't have as great a game. Shamar Porter had a couple catches. Victor Rosa had some key catches. Chris Parker actually got some playing time. He was the transfer from Central Michigan. Hasn't played much all year, but I think he played because Juice was out. He had a great catch and run for a touchdown. They got called back on a BS false start penalty. But that's Victor Rosa, I think, does a tremendous job every time he's in there.
How many catches? Yeah.
He had 3 catches for 32 yards.
And one?
And he had a good screen pass on a big third down that he converted. He had one rush for 9 yards.
Okay. So
that was it.
So 4 touches.
4 touches, yes, 4 touches.
Look, we go back and forth on this. He's a complimentary player.
Yes, he's a complimentary player.
Ever prime guy. Ever.
No, not with Cam, and
not with his size.
No, he's limited with what he can do. They try to use him in the passing game. They use so many different personnel groupings and try to work him in. But obviously, Cam getting 24 carries, I was happy to see that because it shows that he's healthy. The 2 touchdowns got him over 10 for the year, and the 1,000 yards rushing, great marks for him. But again, Joe, I do worry tremendously about our ability to keep these kids, because they're going to 100% want raises. They're going to 100% want a little more in their checkbook. And I hope that we're able to give that to them.
Well, time will tell. I mean, that's the great unknown, boys, in this era. We don't know how much these schools have to spend. We don't know how they parcel it out to the players. It's the great unknown. I'm sure they will do what they think is right, and you have to trust their judgment.
Yeah, no, you do. I wonder if the big. Oh, I love Christy. Christy is amazing.
What do you say now?
He's wondering if the Big 12 saw the crowd that was in Boston Saturday for Uconn versus BYU. It was a hot crowd and a great game.
Chris B, let me give you a heads up. Basketball means
it doesn't matter.
Nothing in conference realignment.
No.
Basketball means nothing.
It doesn't generate the revenue. It really doesn't have the TV money. All they get is the tournament money. That's it from it. Otherwise, it really doesn't make a difference. But going into this week, I think we have a chance to really do something special, get that 9th win, improve our status, and hopefully get into a bowl game that is desirable after Christmas Day. And looking at FAU, they've been up and down. Other than the win against Tulsa, they had lost 2 straight, but They're coming in 4-6, I believe. But I think we can go down there and get that win, and that'll be a huge difference for us, finishing with 9 wins. And Joe would be the first quarterback to do that, back-to-back 9-win seasons. And Joe, don't you think that's a tremendous accomplishment for him at least? I mean, I know it's a team accomplishment, but for what he's been through to come in and have the season that he's had and help lead this team to another 9-win season, that would be great for him.
Yeah, I think it would be an awesome accomplishment. I think it would say a lot about him and the system that he's in, and the players that he's been surrounded by. So, yeah,
and Dave, I same thing. I mean, I think we almost have too much depth at some of these positions, but again, I love the offensive line. I love our tight ends, the running backs. I mean, Christy keeps saying that Mel Brown can play in the bowl game. I know that's not true, but we're fine with everything we're doing. And Skylar Bell has had an incredible season. The individual seasons of Skylar, Cam, and Joe have been great. And then defensively, Parham, Chadwick have been great. It shows we can bring in great talent to Uconn. We got to be selective in the portal. We got to be able to raise more money, spend money to continue the success. And next year's schedule is going to be tough. But what do you think about the FAU game? And, what do you think about the individual efforts that we've seen from Joe, Cam, and Skylar?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I said Dave.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're beating a dead horse, but yes, those guys have been tremendous. Schedule next year, I mean, we'll see. Everything's a year-by-year basis based on what your team looks like.
Right. Exactly.
I cannot evaluate next year until we get to next year and we see.
Well, I'm not saying evaluate. I'm just saying it's a tougher schedule next year.
Well,
it doesn't mean anything. It does not mean anything until next year, because we don't know what they're going to have. We don't know whether Belichick, for example, North Carolina, brings in a host of superstars and has endless money to do it, or they say they're not going to give him any more money because they don't like the way he's doing things. You don't know any of that stuff. Everything is year to year in college football. Can you bank on certain programs being good because of the coaches that are there and the budget? Yes, you could bank on Georgia being good. You could bank on probably Indiana being good as long as he's there. You know what I mean? There's certain places you could bank on it. But a lot of other places, like even places like Alabama, we won't really know until next year and what they get, because they've been good, very good this year. But are they going to be? There's certain places, and Uconn is obviously one of them. You will not know until the end of the spring who we get recruit-wise to have a better idea of what we have coming back and what we will have going forward. We will not know that. There's no way to even predict it outside of the, Ohio State obviously is another one with Ryan Day. There's a handful of places that as long as those coaches are there, they have that support financially, they're going to win every single year. Outside of maybe those 5 to 10, it's a wild card.
Yeah, I totally agree, Shu. I think one reason we might know a little bit earlier is the transfer portal is 1 week now,
right?
So
right.
And
it's one portal, yeah.
So if you don't have somebody in by the middle of January, he's not coming in. So
yeah, and that's why
a great point. That's a great point. And so the only thing so there is no other. So once they transfer after this in this January time period, the summer comes. They want to transfer. Is there another?
They can't. No, there's only one portal this year. But the issue is, if more were to leave after the FAU game, they have 30 days to enter the transfer portal. The kids can enter earlier.
I have a prediction on the transfer portal. I don't think that's going to last forever, one portal.
No, they're going to get sued. They're going
to have a second period. There's no way some kid's going to come out of spring and say, I got screwed and did not sue the NCAA. Zero chance of that happening.
I
Zero
agree.
But I
chance.
think, and I got to run here, but I think that there's less. The NCAA has a better chance in that lawsuit than they have in a lot of others. I think
Yeah.
if you've got one kid who comes out and says, "I got screwed," they can make the case of, "Well, you should have seen the handwriting on the wall. Why didn't you jump ship back in January?"
They won't have one. They'll have
Yeah.
150.
Well,
All
maybe.
right.
Time will
Yeah.
tell.
For Joe D, Coach Schumann, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.